that are said or deeds that are actually done with our hands. We said that awareness of this particular name should lead us to reflect on what is going on in our heads, what is happening, what we're saying, with what is happening with our actions and our deeds. Are we on the right path? We're being watched. Being a Muslim is not enough. One may sit in an environment, that's what we were talking about before the break, the environment, which can affect a person and gradually take him or her away from the path. So we talked about an individual who comes into a company. He's raised honestly, his parents were honest, and he was raised to be honest, tell the truth, don't take what doesn't belong to you. But he comes into a company and he sits down with the people, and all the people around him, they get to know him, friendly, everything. Then he notices in their behavior that at the end of the day, they're taking pens, pencil sharpeners, papers, paper clips. They're collecting these things and taking them home with them. They're replaced every day. The company has a supply. There's somebody who's in charge of providing supplies for the office. So they're replaced. No big deal. But really, there is a big deal here, because people are actually stealing property. But, people have taken it so lightly. It's not a big deal, Take a little bit home for your kids, and everybody, it's all right, no problem. And so that person, at first, he says, no, he doesn't want to do this. But then he looks, he sees everybody's doing it. It's the norm, So then he starts, well, maybe it's okay if I just take a paper clip or just a pencil. And then eventually he starts to take more and more till he becomes like the rest of them. This is something that the Prophet ﷺ warned us about. He described bad companions, he described them as Jalisus Su. You have Jalisus Salih and Jalisus Su. A good companion and a bad companion. If you sit with people who are, bad companions, people of a negative environment, they're going to affect you. So the Prophet ﷺ gave this example. He said that the good companions are like the perfume merchant, one who sells perfume. If you go and you sit with him all the time, either he's going to give you a little bit of the perfume, is a favor, he's giving you some, or at least you will walk away smelling good, because he has opened up all these jars as he was selling them, and the scent has gone over you. So you go home smelling good. Whereas the bad companion is like what? He is like the blacksmith, Sahibul Kir. He's there working the bellows, blowing air onto the coals that are burning. He's got iron in there, he's beating it, sparks are flying. So either because you're close to him whilst he's beating this iron, sparks are going to come and burn your clothes. You'll have to go home with holes in your clothes. Or at least you'll go away stinking of smoke. You'll go away smelling of smoke. One or the other. In the West, they say, if you lie with dogs, you get up with fleas. It's the same kind of idea, maybe not as nice as the way the Prophet put it, but it's the same idea. What you are constantly around is going to have an impact on you. So, for the believer, this name Al-Muhaimen should cause him to take stock, or her to take stock of themselves. Are they still on track, or have they waved away, diverted from the path due to bad companionship, bad companions? So, that is one point that this name should call us to reflect on. Where are we? The second is that it invites, from the perspective of being conscious of Allah watching us, it invites us into the halls of ihsan. Ihsan. What is ihsan? Ihsan is, as the Prophet ﷺ said, أن تعبد الله كأنك تراه فَإِن لَمْ تَكُنْ تَرَاهُ فَإِنَّهُ يَرَاكَ. To worship Allah as if you see Him. And if you can't see Him, indeed, He sees you. To worship Allah as if you see Him. That's that consciousness. To be aware of Allah watching. Just as a person, if his father is there, if he's doing a job and the father is there watching him, he's going to be very careful. But if the father is not there, then he tends to be slack. So the presence of the father, or the presence of your boss, or the presence of somebody of importance causes you to do the job as it should be done. It shouldn't, really. It should be enough to know that we have a responsibility and we do it to the best of our ability. As the Prophet ﷺ had said, إِنَّ اللَّهَ يُحِبُّ مِنْ أَحَدِكُمْ إِذَا عَمِلَ عَمَلًا أَنْ يُتْقِنَهُ. That Allah loves from each and every one of us that if we do anything, we do it to the best of our ability. So that should stand. That should be our standard. Whether people are watching or they're not watching. But human beings are human beings. We tend to be more attentive, tend to be more precise, more correct when people are watching us. So, worshipping Allah as if we can see Him. That is, as if He's there watching us. We're going to be much more concerned, much more conscious, how we do it, how we do that act of worship. We're going to try to do it the best that we can. If we can feel the presence of Allah, that Allah is watching us. And that's what this name should create in us. And if we slacken from that level of doing acts of worship as if Allah sees us, then we shift to the lower level, which is doing it knowing that He sees us. First level is to do it as if we see Him, as if He's there, we can see Him. The second level is to do it knowing He sees us. If we are able to catch either one of those two, the higher one is the better, then we have entered into the realm of ihsan. And this is something worthy of a Muslim to strive his life for. Because Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, in that famous hadith of Jibreel, which I quoted from, when Angel Gabriel came and asked about what is Islam, what is Iman, faith, and what is Ihsan, he asked, showing that these were different levels. So we should strive, of course, for the highest possible level. The third point regarding the effects of belief in the name Al-Muhaimen on the believer is that it should cause reflection, it should cause us to stop doing evil from the realm of thought. We should, knowing that Allah is watching over us, conscious of everything we do, from the realm of thought, we should strive to stop evil deeds. Meaning what? Meaning that an evil deed starts with a thought. It doesn't just, usually it's not spontaneous. Of course, there are some deeds that we may not even think, it's just you did it accidentally, you did it without thinking, whatever. Usually, but most evil deeds are done, planned, they're thought out. An evil thought comes to our mind. Maybe we produce that thought ourselves, or could be from satanic sources, or it could be from our friends, bad friends around us, suggesting we have that thought in our head. We can either brush the thought aside, or we can think about that thought, reflect on it some more. And then, it sounds good. Seems like a good idea. And then we come to a decision. I think I'll do this. And from there, maybe we'll talk to people about it, you're planning to do it, and so, and then we go ahead and do it. So it starts from the thought. Once it's reached the realm of action, we're about to do it, to try to stop, then thought comes to you, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this, but you're already in the act. Very difficult to stop then. The easiest time to stop that evil deed is when it just starts in your head. This is the best place to stop it. It's simple. It can just be brushed aside. Very simple procedure. So this name should have that effect on us, that we should strive to stop evil from the realm of thought. Not that we can't think evil, because we're human beings. As I said, there are forces all around us that will produce evil thoughts that we can't control. So it's coming. Can't help it. It's part of the test of this life. But we can stop it. It's true, Allah has promised through His Messenger a mercy that we will not be held for account for evil thoughts. Will not be held accountable for evil thoughts as long as we don't speak about them and act on them. That's reality. And that's a big mercy from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But even so, we don't say, okay, since we're not held accountable, no need to worry about those thoughts. No. Of course, we still need to worry about them. Worry about them. Why? Because if we don't stop things in the realm of thought, then they're going to become words and deeds. That's the norm. That's the way things are. So, we have to strive to stop this in the realm of thought to prevent us from falling into evil deeds. Now, the fourth point that we should keep in mind concerning Allah being the guardian, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because of the good that we do, He guards us from evil through His mercy. If we do good, if we're involved in righteous deeds, then He will look after us and protect us. This is the guardian. He is the guardian of the good that we have done, protecting us. As Allah said in Surah Al-Kahf, وَكَانَ أَبُوهُمَا صَالِحًا. Their father was righteous, concerning the young orphans whose wall was rebuilt to protect the treasure that was there for them. Allah did it for them because of their father. That is Allah guarding. That is the guarding. Also, when we look at the case of Prophet Yusuf, when he was caught in a circumstance, a major trial, he's a slave. The wife of his master is calling him to corruption. If it weren't for Allah saving him, guarding him, he would have fallen. This is Allah guarding the believers. And this is what, when we reflect on this name, we also reflect on this guardian aspect, that Allah protects the believers. If we protect the deen, then Allah will protect us. With that, dear viewers, we'd like to thank you for being with us in this segment of the program, In the Names of Allah, in which we have been looking at Al-Muhaimen, the guardian. We hope to see you in our coming episodes, and we hope, inshallah, that you will continue to benefit as we have benefited in preparing these episodes. Barakallahu feekum. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
When you are weak and the road seems long,